Hello, ePadosi listeners. Welcome to ePadosi channel. In the series of Ask Raj, where we are asking Mr. Raj Salwan questions and concerns you have about Fremont City. Mr. Raj Salwan is City Council member from last more than 10 years and running Mayor for 2024. Mr. Salwan, welcome.
Thank you, Alok. Thank you for having me on ePadosi.
Thanks for taking your time and answering the question for my viewers.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. This is fantastic venue to get the message out and go over the issues and concerns people have every day. So this is a great community service you're doing here. This is fantastic.
Thank you. So, Mr. Salwan, as we discussed, we will discuss new topic every time we will meet. And today's topic is public safety. So, let's start. What is your viewpoint about the public safety in general in Fremont?
Well, I think public safety is the topmost concern. I mean, that's the one that I'm most concerned about because most important thing we can have is safety of where we stay. So we should feel comfortable in our city when we go out for shopping or go to the park or just, fun activities that we do every day. If you don't have public safety, then you don't have a community. People should not have anxiety about going outside or shopping in the evening or things like that. It's also very important from a business perspective also because if you want our business to thrive, restaurants to be successful, then you need to make sure it's a safe environment. And our kids need to feel safe, be able to go to the school and not be harassed or have any issues on a day-to-day basis. And of course, the most important is the crime. That's a huge issue for a lot of folks. And, for me, that's my top priority is make sure that we make Fremont a safe city, a city that is well-funded as far as public safety, hiring enough police officers, firefighters, and just make sure that we have a very fast response when people call 911.
Very nice. So, seems like you have a plan for securing our city at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, in the continuation of this questionnaire, this question is from Mr. Sharad. Something mishap happened with him a few months back. He saw somebody, took something from his car. It was his office laptop, and he saw the people just took the bag and running in car. And he tried to call Fremont police, and as per his documentation, he said police could not respond that day. So he is quite concerned. So his question is, what is city's plan to improve response time for emergency calls and enhance the overall efficiency of the police department?
Well, great question by Sharad. I mean, first of all, sorry that your laptop got stolen. That's definitely very personal. I mean, if I lost something like that, it would be a big setback, especially as business people. It's a complicated issue. I don't know all the circumstances on this specific case, but I know we have level of service. So, for example, if there's a more serious crime, they will act on that faster. So if there's a violent crime or somebody's actively has a gun or somebody's being threatened or there's some violence, they will prioritize that call more than a property crime. And then the second would be like a home invasion robbery. That would be like top priority. But if it's like a laptop that's already been stolen or the people are running away, the priority kind of drops because it's not a life and death situation. It's not people being affected. It's more property. So I know that's not a great answer for the person that's affected because definitely you want all the crimes to be taken care of. But the reality is that we need more police officers. In Fremont, we have budgeted, I think, approximately 203 police officers, but we have a shortage. I think we're about at 165. And the primary reason is we're just not able to get enough police officers that we can hire. It's a very difficult time, especially after the recent political movement. A lot of people don't want to be police officers. They feel like they're not respected or they're not supported. And also we have a very high bar to hire a police officer. We don't want just a cowboy to come up and just start working. We want somebody that's going to have maturity, have a degree, have high caliber, and make sure they pass through all the steps. And so when you have a shortage, you prioritize the issues that are more urgent. So one of the things that I'm trying to push for is to hire more police officers and to fast track the hiring process so that we have more folks on patrol. And we're also looking at incentives, so how we can get people from other agencies that are already trained and then bring them here by offering them bonuses. We're also trying to fast track our process in-house because it takes a long time to do background investigations, interviews, the academy. So we're trying to see how we can speed that up as well. And then also homegrown. We're trying to look for folks in Fremont already that want to be police officers. So we're trying to find more of those as well. So we're pulling all the stops to try to get more police officers hired as soon as possible. It's a challenging time, but I think we can definitely do it. So as we get more people on patrol, then we can go to those other calls that are not life and death. So, and it's not just City of Fremont, it's kind of a generalized affair nowadays. So again, sorry about the loss, but if there's anything more I can do, please email me and I'll do my best to find out.
Okay, makes sense. Next question is from Miss Mamta. Her question is, what initiatives are in place to support Neighborhood Watch program and other community-based crime preventive efforts?
Yeah, so I think the best thing I mentioned last time was to form a neighborhood crime watch group. And so the city can help you with that. And what that pretty much entails is, contact the City of Fremont Police Department. We have community liaison folks that can guide you through the process. You must be willing to have a meeting where they will come out, talk about the program, get all the neighbors together so everybody can meet each other. And if everybody's on board, you can put cameras in your neighborhood. You can connect those cameras to the City of Fremont so that we have access in case of an emergency. We're not actively monitoring those, but if there is some sort of crime or something, if the neighborhood allows it, we can access those. And then we also place signs so people know that this is a neighborhood crime watch area. So we definitely want to promote this and spread it all along the city. I feel like we don't have enough neighborhood crime watch groups. We have some in certain areas, like, for example, in South Fremont, there's one near Scott Creek. They're very active. They've been pioneering a lot of the things as far as license plate readers and cameras, and they're very organized. So if we can kind of spread that everywhere, I think it would help a lot. Most important thing is to get to know your neighbors. There's a lot of folks that don't know who lives where. Yeah. So if you know, these are my neighbors, these are the normal people I see here, when somebody new comes, you're like, wait, this doesn't look right. Yeah. And then you can share with your neighbors. So if that's something that folks are interested in, they should call our police department, and we can get that set up and contact me as well. I'll be happy to work on that for you as well.
Very nice. So next question is coming from Mr. Iyer. Mr. Iyer is asking, how is the city addressing the concern of residents regarding traffic safety and pedestrian safety, especially in the areas with the high traffic?
Well, that's a great question. So we do have the Vision Zero program. So I don't know if you heard of that, but that program, basically the goal is to have 0 fatalities in City of Fremont. We don't want anybody to die from pedestrian or bike injury. So you may see all over Fremont, especially on Fremont Boulevard, you'll see that we have like these signs and the flashing beacons so that people can cross more safely. We are also looking at shortening the path that people have to walk so that it's not so far apart. The curbs are being expanded. And especially we're looking at areas where they are near schools. So that's a top priority for us because our kids are walking to school. We want them to walk to school. So we want to make sure it's safe. Areas around major thoroughfares like Fremont Boulevard. We're improving all the different crosswalks on Fremont Boulevard. And near the downtown environment. So more near Maury, Walnut, Stevenson, that little area we're trying to improve as far as pedestrian safety. And then we're looking at strategic areas where we have more injuries. We're looking at ways to slow down the traffic. You may have noticed that we've reduced speeding by 5 miles per hour by reducing the speed limits in some areas. So we're trying to do all the different strategies we can. In some cases, we even put speed bumps in certain neighborhoods if we see that there's excessive speed happening. So we're all in on the safety aspect, and I think you'll find that we're, in general, getting better. We're much safer than other cities our size, and the fatalities are slowly coming down. But my word of caution to anybody is don't trust any crosswalk, especially if there's not a light there. Always look, make eye contact with the driver. And if there's a second lane, make sure you make eye contact with that one before you cross. Sometimes people will look at the first one and then they don't look at the second one, the person's still speeding, and then they get hit. So never trust the drivers, frankly. Your life is in your hand. Do not cross unless you know for sure that the cars are going to stop. So that's very important for your safety and health. And then also I see a lot of folks, it kind of scares me sometimes because I go on these streets and then these people are wearing all black. And it's like 5 a.m. or very late at night. And I'm like, wait, is that somebody? I'm always paranoid that I'm going to hit somebody
same here.
That is not visible to me. And they'll just cut right in front of you. And you're like, whoa, somebody just passed right in front of me. So make sure that when you walk in the evening or night, you should have a vest, wear bright clothing, don't make sudden or surprising movement. Make sure you, again, make eye contact, make sure people have seen you, and then you cross. And then a lot of people walk on the street. When you make a quick turn and all of a sudden you see somebody coming right there, or they're on the wrong side, that also is can be dangerous. So my advice again is like your life is in your hands. Don't trust the government. Don't, even though we're doing all these things, you need to be cautious and careful because people are more distracted and they're more busy than ever before. So definitely do all the precautions that you can.
No, I totally agree with you because even it happened with us, like you said, in the evening time, anyway, it is a little bit dark area coming, and the person was full black hoodie, black jeans, black shoe, and like covered with the hoodie. You cannot see. So even person walks by, then only suddenly realize, somebody just crossed the road.
That's right.
And you could not even understand that
It's
person.
scary.
It is very scary.
Yeah, my other advice is try to use the major streets because they're better lighting, there's better crosswalk, it's much more visible. So I've kind of changed my strategy. Now I try to avoid those back streets, like to bypass traffic. So.
Makes sense.
Yeah, especially the neighborhood streets.
This question is little more general. The person is asking, how is the city preparing for and responding to potential natural disaster, like earthquake or wildfires in our area?
So we do have one staff member in the public safety department whose entire job is to prepare for natural disasters, like the earthquake. We're due for the big one. Not sure when that's going to happen, but that will happen. And so we are preparing for those kinds of disasters. We have a emergency center that we've dedicated, which is on Osgood, where we can have 24/7 nonstop service in case power goes out or we have some crisis. We also have a mobile command center, which is a joint initiative between the police and fire, where we have a satellite and we have camera footage. We can take calls and everything and run everything from that mobile command unit. So we are definitely preparing for natural disasters, and we have folks that do training on that, CERT training, CPR training, natural disaster training. So we definitely are always planning for that. We're also always upgrading our building codes to make sure that the older buildings are being addressed, so that we don't have any destruction of life or property. We're always adding new regulations, new policies to reduce the risk of death from any of these natural disasters. Other things we're also preparing for is climate change. It's not necessarily a natural disaster, but with all this heat and all these changes, we are making adaptations so that if we have sea level rise, how are we going to address that? So there's also a plan to mitigate sea level rise and make sure that we don't have any issues as far as our property or life in case there's rising waters.
That's good. By any chance, is there any website or like City of Fremont website people can find, like some earthquake happen or something happens, so where they can go or where they can really see the planning so they can prepare themselves?
So I think we do have a City of Fremont area for emergency preparedness. We also have training classes. Sometimes the fire department will run those. So I would encourage everybody to take those classes. And then we also have county and state resources as well. It's always a good idea to prepare, make sure you have plenty of water, canned food, emergency lighting, radio, things like that. Again, I'm not the expert, but I would encourage everybody to be ready. You just never know what can happen. And now with, the world has changed so much. Every day is like something new happens. So we should be ready for anything.
That's good to know that at least Fremont City has a planning, and there are places where you can find the information.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very nice. Next question is anonymous. It is more towards Indian community question, Raj. So her question is, what are your planning to do for the Indian community in light of the recent robberies, against Indian jewelry stores? Yes. So it is more likely, how are you planning to protect this Indian business owners in general in Fremont, and how city is planning to really protect this community?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. It's very scary when I see these 20 guys come in and they smash everything and take all the jewelry. It's very scary, and it's definitely devastating. And we've seen that also in Fremont. It's not as rampant as some of the other cities we've seen, but the folks that are in Fremont have hired private security. They've changed some of the policies. Our police department has worked with them to kind of make them safer. Again, there's no perfect solution. But why is this happening? This is a larger conversation we need to have. It's not just City of Fremont, but it's kind of a regional or even a state problem. And that starts from the top. You have the California state policies, which don't really address serious property crimes. There's relaxation of policies at the county where people don't get charged. And so we need to change all those policies. We need to look at how do we hold people accountable? How do we charge retail theft, especially this kind where they come in a coordinated effort and then just take over the jewelry shop? It's very dangerous and it's very scary. So as far as what we need to do is we need to, as residents and citizens of this country, we need to vote for senators that will promote policies that will make us safer. We need to vote for district attorneys that will make us safer, and we need to vote for local elected officials that will, get these folks held accountable and prosecute if needed. And so I think it requires a general strictness in policies. In the old days, they were very strict. They would lock everybody up. You had the 3 strikes, you're out. And then now we've gone too much the other way, where you can do anything and everything and nothing's going to happen to you as long as it's a property crime. So a property crime where a guy steals a bread is different than property crime where they're coming in and taking tens of thousands of dollars of jewelry and scaring the people. So I think it's also not good for business, because if you're a jewelry store owner, that's the last place I want to go if I hear that that's the place where they're getting robbed. So it's definitely not good for business, definitely not good for the community. And you have my commitment that I will do whatever I can to hold those folks accountable, make sure that we charge the people that do these kind of robberies. We work regionally with our county sheriff as well as state partners to prosecute those folks and make sure we hold them accountable. It's very important that we go back to having accountability, law and order, make sure that people are held accountable for any crimes they do. We can't just have citation and release. We have to take these seriously, especially when they are in like gangs or it's organized retail theft. I think that's very dangerous. It's very bad for our community. People are already not shopping in local stores. So that just further makes more businesses go online, which destroys our main street, destroys our small businesses, and is very devastating. So I think we need to do everything to make sure that people feel safe. These jewelry store owners feel safe. People shopping at the jewelry store should feel safe, and to implement all the policies we need to get this under control.
Thank you, Raj. So I think these are all the questions we received about the public safety. Any final thought you want to share with us about the public safety in Fremont?
Sure. Well, these were all great questions, Alok. You got some very informative listeners, so I appreciate the questions. I thought that was a good recap. But just to reiterate, I think public safety is probably the most important thing in City of Fremont. That's my top priority. I'm pleased to have support from the Fremont firefighters as well as the Fremont Police Association because they know that I will prioritize public safety. And we need to make sure that we vote for folks that support public safety policies, that have a balanced perspective, and that address the crime that we're facing. And I would encourage all of you to get involved in your neighborhoods. Make sure you contact our police department if you see anything that's suspicious. and let's do whatever we can to make Fremont the safest city in the country. And that's what I would like to do.
That's great. Thank you, Raj. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Lopes.
So viewers, ePolicy viewers, so you just heard from Raj. Mr. Raj Salwan answered all your questions and concerns you shared with us about the public safety in Fremont. If you have any other question or concern about the Fremont city you want to ask and not sure how to ask, please don't worry. Just send us your question and we will ask your question. And Raj, very nice of him that he's ready to answer any question you have about the city of Fremont. So please send your questions to us and we will ask Mr. Raj Salwan to answer your questions. Thank you. Thanks for watching ePolicy channel. Please like and subscribe the channel. Thank you.